All right, everybody, welcome to this very special session. I'm going to ask Miss Beth if you can give Amy Seitz co-host ability there. I see she's actually stationary, which is good because, you know, Amy is traveling the world right now. And we have a big announcement for you guys tonight. We're going to talk about 3 topics. And one of the things I want to say is welcome back to Amy. I know you guys probably think she works here, but she doesn't. She is one of the most valuable resources we have in the remote online notary community. It is a pleasure to have her here when we can get her here. She's a part of a lot of notary communities, and we love seeing that she plays in everybody's sandbox and plays fair. She provides nothing but the best advice for raw notaries, in my opinion. I wish I could afford her to work alongside Bill, but you know, he's right up there with her. But even Bill, Travis, and myself turned to Amy. We're going to start out this session with talking about what Amy has now. She's actually kind of solved a problem in the remote online notary community when it comes to, you know, we have all these platform fees that we have to pay, and we're conditioned to not pay unless we're going to get paid. So Amy has a solution for that in my mind, and I'd like for you guys to hear her out now. This is going to be kind of a you know, maximized session. So we want to kind of keep the questions to a minimum today. And we want to hold until Amy's done with her presentation. We're going to go into some marketing tips for you guys as as raw notaries. And then I actually have a new product that I'm going to be unveiling tonight for raw notaries that you really won't want to miss. I'm going to hold that to the end because we want to give the floor to our guests for just a moment. If you are going to be in the background, please turn on those cameras and let's welcome Amy Seitz, who is a friend to all notaries, all raw notaries. We are so lucky to have her during this class time. Please turn on those cameras for just a moment. Let's give our signature wave. I see those cameras lighting up. Let's really turn them on, guys. I don't care.
Mr. Ronnie, I'm not able to give her co-host ability. You'll have to do that.
Okay, let me see if I can give her co-host ability here. There we go. Amy.
Hey, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
There we go. I got the mute button now. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. These Friday nights are always a lot of fun. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, if you're not familiar with who I am a longtime notary out of the state of Ohio. I think I hit 25 years this year. I might be 26. I quit counting, to tell you the truth. But I'm a loan signing agent, Ron, and then I built the platform Cyberize It. And I see some familiar faces in the audience tonight. And I'm actually one of the notaries that's been on the platform since it opened. Issa's joined us. So anyway, we opened the platform in July of 21, and we've been going strong ever since. The one thing that I wanted to do, I won't ever be able to achieve this goal because I found out there's a lot more cost in doing a RON than I expected. But I wanted to try to make it as free as possible for notaries. So if you're looking for a bare bones, just I want a RON platform, I don't want extra training, I don't want the bells and whistles, I don't want you to send me work, I just want to use it when I get a phone call or when I can convert something to it, this new program is what exactly up your alley. We have unleashed, it's called Cyberize It Lite. Well, it's been out 1 month. And what happens is you join the platform and you have no monthly and no annual fees. You go through the onboarding that just tells you how to use our software. And when you have a client that needs a RON, you can do the session where you bill outside of the platform, or you can bill through the platform and get direct deposit from our software. The big thing that is different is you cannot claim work when there's work on the job board. You can't do notarizations or serve as witnesses and earn money from this level of subscription. But if you're just looking for something to have in your back pocket, this is kind of what I was looking at when I was doing it. So let me just share my screen so you can see I do offer multiple different things, but with this Cyberize It Lite, you can do Ron, Rin, IPEN. We also open Cyberize It Lite up to Alabama and Connecticut notaries that do Rin only. So that is a feature for you. We keep the e-notary journal and the videos for 10 years. You are able to bill outside or inside the platform. You can have up to 10 people in a session, and you can create, like, you can pre-tag the documents or you can tag them live. It's entirely up to you and your session. And you can do general notary work, or you can do real estate transactions. And any platform failure issue, you get access to tech support 24/7. Now, when we say platform related issue, that means you need to know what you're doing. I'm not going to help you tag a document, and I'm not going to walk you through all of the different elements of the platform. But if you get in there and practice, you'd be able to hold a session without a problem. And that is the bare bones of it. So basically a Ron access without any subscription fees. Now, I'm just going to talk about if you prepay the session and you're going to build a client outside of the platform. Your transaction fees are $3 per person. Okay. And you can have up to 10 in a session. Your first notary act is free. Everything above that is $1 each. And the reason for that is because the longer the document, the longer the video, the more I have to pay for storage. Get it? And then if you need to have a notary from our platform serve as a witness, it's $5 per witness, and that fee goes directly to the notary who serves as a signature witness. And not all documents are going to need to have that. But if you had a one stamp, one person document, you can have that done through our platform at a cost of just $3. And then you could bill your state allowed aspects to your client outside of our platform. The other way, real quick, because I told Ronnie I'd try to do like 15 minutes here. So if you bill through the platform, it is still $3 per signer. This is what the client's going to pay. They're going to pay $25 for the first notary act, and then they're going to pay 10 each extra, done within the same session. And then if they need those witnesses still are $5 each. Okay. Of this, when you get the direct deposit, you're going to get that first $25 for the first notary act. And for each additional, you get $9. And that gets direct deposited to you. As soon as the payment clears, you can manually transmit it overnight so it can auto deposit the next day, or you can just wait and it'll auto deposit every Monday. And that's pretty much it. The difference with this is, you know, all of my accelerated training, all of my live Zooms, and then access to the job board are the three things that you can purchase to. But as far as getting it for basically free or economy, this would be the package for you guys. What do you think, Ronnie? How'd I do?
I think you did really wonderful. And here's the thing. Here's what I want people to know. If you're sitting out there and you're like, okay, I'm a raw notary, but I'm paying for all these platforms and I don't get business from the platforms. This could be a really great viable option for you, kind of a la carte. And I think it's the first time that we're seeing it within the community of raw notaries. So to me, this is, it's not an exclusive. We put out a thing, and I know you've talked about it before, but I think it's, for those of you that really hang out with us most of the time at Notary Stars, it's a really a good, viable product for you. I want to start moving into marketing because now that we have an avenue to do something like this, let's talk about what can we use it for? How about that, Amy?
Well, for one thing, you can always be ready in the moment when you need to have a notarization done in this manner, and it saves you from that large initial investment. Because one of the other things that's on our platform is while you can use an IdenTrust digital certificate, not all states require that. So like here in Ohio, well, when I'm in Ohio, because I'm in Florida today, but when I'm in Ohio, I don't have to use IdenTrust digital certificate, so I can save money as a notary with that expense. We also give you the access to create your e-stamp for free. So that's something else that makes it very helpful when you're going through. And if you renew your commission, you can make that new stamp as many times as you want. We don't charge you for that at all. And just having that tool sometimes gives you more confidence when you're out and about, because while you may not have a ton of this work, knowing that you're covered if you needed it it's satisfying. You know, I don't want to be, what's that phrase? I don't want to be caught with my pants down kind of thing. And this way you can be prepared and you can be, and maybe a little motivated. You'll see all of the other notaries in the community. I've seen more faces as they all shift up here. I see Donna and John, but you'll get to know the community and you'll get, there's a vibe, I think is the word. And you're not alone. We want to be there to support you. And the notaries that are on my platform help so much. They give tremendous value to notaries in social groups and one-on-one sometimes. It's just a different experience. Yeah, I like to think that we're not all alone, but we are, you know, independent, but connected.
Amy, one question that came in from the chat is on this particular model, does it still offer biometrics?
If you're in a state that allows you to use biometrics, yes.
Perfect.
If you're not, it still also allows, if you're a notary that's not in a state that allows biometrics, you can still use oath of credible witness if that's allowed to you. You can use it for PO, like I'm signing as power of attorney or attorney in fact. You can, you know, customize it to all of those extents. And the other question I saw in the chat, and I did answer it, but I'll say it out loud too, is when the document's finished, the notary has full access to the finalized document, but so does the client. So everyone can access that document and download it. So if you need to turn it back into title, you don't have to ask the client for it.
Okay, David Merkatz, who I know really works with tons and tons of notaries, he's mastered the current platform he's on, but he's always keeping his ear to the ground about what's available out there. And he's actually one of the, I consider like a pioneer for sure in Ron. He asked, do you offer to be able to test with a friend? Are they able to test out with a friend, or do you have a testing ground that they can work with?
Well, the answer is technically yes, there is one, but no, I don't make it available because it made it very confusing for notaries. What I've offered is if you're on a paying subscription, when you do a test transaction on the platform, we'll refund the $3. But on the Cyberize It Lite one, you have to pay that $3 simply because you're just not at that other elevated level. But I don't think $3 to do a test transaction is that big of a deal.
No, and I don't either. And I want to come in on that. You know, I know that Amy keeps this at an affordable cost for notaries in order to do so. If you are looking to kind of do test transactions and, you know, get going, that is a cost of business that really you should incur. And if she's giving it to you for free and that's the cost to her, the least we could do is pay that $3. I'll say it that way because I know as a business owner, you don't want to say it when it's your own business to say that, but I'll say it looking outside, looking in. You know, if she's giving something to you at basically at cost, you really want to kind of respect that. And $3 is not something to gripe about with a testing ground.
The other question in the chat is, am I applying for approval in Illinois? I have already applied. I've already demoed. I've already submitted all of the information and gotten the approved insurance. I am just waiting for them to go to the board and officially say, yes, you're allowed. But they did say that notaries could start signing up and learning the platform. I just can't activate you until we get the official approval.
Okay. Amy, I would just want to remind people, they can raise their hand during this session instead of just typing the questions. You are able to raise your hand for questions if you have them, and if we're not getting it to them in the chat, definitely virtually raise it. We have 3 topics tonight, and if you just got logged in, because I noticed that our numbers keep going up. If you just got logged in, we have 3 topics tonight. We just introduced Cyberize It Lite. If you got here late and you missed that, please watch the replay. I'll get this posted as soon as possible over the weekend. If you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, you can definitely watch it there. We are also going to be talking about ways to market your RON business. And then we're also going to be talking about a new product called Dynamic Websites, which all RON notaries really need to know about. Amy, before we move into this question that's on the screen here, one thing that I want to remind to people that are in the RON community, because this is something that I see happening a lot, and it revolves around marketing. So you become a notary, you learn how to do all these documents, you train your rear end off, and then you become a RON notary and you think, okay, great, I don't have to drive anymore. But then you're like paying for a platform or paying for multiple platforms. And this is my take on it. And I'd love your take on it as well, Amy. But here's my personal take that it's given me the success with RON. I kind of look at it as 2 to 3 models of RON out there. Okay. There is the platforms like ClearSign, where it's, AmRock, ServiceLink, those types of things that are on ClearSign. You don't pay for the platform, they're gonna bring you the business, but then you're on a cattle call list, and it's just gonna go in an alphabetical order, and you might get assigned, you might not, and when things are slow, great. They're not doing any general notary work. They're not bringing in any attorneys. They're not bringing in any cell phone companies. They're not bringing in all of the things that I've seen that you can do. So that's one model. Then we have another model, which is kind of the hybrid model. Sites like Notarize, where they bring in, even more than a cattle call. This is more like a sweatshop for notaries. I would say Amrock's a cattle call. Notarize is a sweatshop. They're bringing in, and this goes into our next topic later. I don't want this to become a derogatory conversation against Notarize, because I know that there's a lot of notaries out there that make good livings working for the smaller fees, but they're competing with people who have bots and clickers and things like that are not working. So there's that hybrid model where you can service your own clients, but they don't tell you how to service your clients. And then you can do the bots. And then there's third models, which I think Amy's introducing us to right now. Whereas I could literally bring my own client and it's not going to cost me, in order to do that at this moment, which I think is the first entry into the market of something like this. Amy, would you agree with that?
Well, I think it's all about analysis of the impact of what the businesses have into it. So when you're looking and you're comparing me to another platform, our practice, I'm the only staff member. I am everything. So I can work on a very limited budget, which allows me to keep my overhead low. The other platforms have multiple employees, they have multiple things. So the price per transaction is going to vary based upon the load of each independent platform. My goal was always to make it more affordable, not necessarily make it huge. So that allows me to focus more on giving it back. And it's just a unique situation that I've put myself into. But I don't think any of them are out there to really swindle the notary. I don't think that's their intent. It might be the observation, but not the intent. I do think that in analysis of what they cost to do business, it's higher than what mine is. So we're able to offer a different kind of competitive nature to it.
I respect 100% what you said, and I love that perspective, but I don't feel that way. And that's okay. We can have different perspectives. And I think from a professional sandbox standpoint, but I don't agree with platforms that are paying so little to notaries and farming it out from other states and giving it to notaries that have to work for that in other states. In some ways, it works out good for some notaries that can work those, but I believe that some of them, I believe your model really, and which is why you're here, allows someone to be paid what they're worth. Legally and not overcharge at the same time. I think I hope it's okay to disagree on that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I know me, myself, I would not sit on the computer hoping to get $5. Now, I might have it up and be doing dishes and go, oh, well, I could let the dish soak for 10 minutes and go take it and make $5. But I think having that perception, giving that perception that you could solely rely on this type of gig economy to make and break your income is a wrong thing for a Ron platform to do. I understand why they are at the price point they are. It doesn't help that notaries do things wrong and they have to do a lot of refunds too. So you've got that educational aspect, and I know I'm kind of making excuses, but at the same time, I see them in different perspectives now because I go to those meetings too, right? Again, I don't think the intent is to do harm to the notary. I do understand the notaries need more money, which is why I did mine the way that I did. And I think if you could be on those where they bring the work and you can do it for cheap or reasonable to where you actually make money at it, then you should be on every single one you can. And I wouldn't stop anyone from being on any of them if they're bringing you in money, because money makes the world go round. Would I lose sleep over losing one of them? Probably not. you know?
Let's move this more into the marketing conversation because I want to leave time to make sure that we show people what they actually can do to market their businesses. But the first thing, and Amy, you had no idea that I was going to say this, but I really want to say this to the Ron notary community because it's something, and I actually hope that someone will scratch this in my gravestone at some point, because I think it's probably one of the best things that's ever come to my mind as a business owner who teaches others to grow their business. And it's stop looking for business right now. Stop looking for business today. This is the wrong way to approach getting business. We go and sign up for a platform and then we want that business right now. We're paying $29.95, $59.95, or $300 a month for three platforms combined. That is not the way to look for business as a Ron notary. It is to look for sustainable future business. Sure, you can service one-off clients. Those are bonuses. But you need to start looking for business that is going to be a repeat business for you. So what does that look like? And in my mind, you got to think outside the box. I have privy to information that I get from people who go to conferences and attend conferences. And I was actually told, even at the height of Ron, it was only 7% of real estate transactions. They're still much more want a paper signing, if at all possible, due to legal reasons. Okay. But does that mean that Ron isn't available? No. And I've actually finding great success with my own company by thinking outside the box of loan signing agent. Okay. And I have a one that I'm going to bring up after I get Amy's take on this, but you cannot focus or have tunnel vision when you're Ron, because even though it's only 7% of real estate transactions, it is a lot of percent of a lot of other things that you can do. I recently landed a cell phone company that does easements on land out of Canada. True story. I recently, and I want to save this one for a minute, but I recently landed another client for Unlimited Ink Notary. Just Ron. And you guys have seen FSG come and go. They do different things. They're rebranding at the moment. That's 3 major clients that give me repeat business on Ron. And they're not real estate related. you have to think outside the box on where to market. Amy, what is your take on this?
Oh, I totally agree. So when hold on, I gotta readjust here. If you know me, I don't sit still very well.
You and me both.
So when I first started doing a run, I thought, oh, this is going to be simple and easy and everyone's going to love it. That was in 21, right? And then I realized it wasn't, and I had to really pitch it. But my success in that building of my business was in general notary work. It was not in real estate. I fell into Ron real estate. Mind you, I'd only done 6 in-person signings ever in my total notary thing. After 6, I was like, crap, I'm out of this. I ain't doing this. So, I was getting to a point where I was doing maybe 20 sessions a week with individuals, just one stamp documents. And it's just about knowing how to sell the general notary work. So when you look at your state laws and your abilities, you need to compare it to other states and show how you stand out in order to get that sale done, or how to market to the right client. I think we'll go a little more into this as we go on, but if you're in Colorado, you really want to focus on Colorado wills signing online, because the probate law in Colorado says if it's done with an online notary, it will only be accepted if the notary is commissioned in Colorado. Well, right there alienates all the rest of the RONs from that business. So the Colorado notaries need to be hitting up all of those family law attorneys, because you guys are the only ones who can do it. And it's huge. There's different things in different states that all of them have that. There's even stuff in Ohio based out of Cincinnati. One of the public entities will only take an online document notarized by an Ohio notary. Huge advantages when you find that niche and you're able to put it through. I don't know if with Florida, the one thing that Florida can do that not many other states can do is most states have a clause that says the document must be, if the signer is located outside of the United States, if my signer is in China and I'm notarizing a document, the document either needs to have been created in the United States, it's going to be filed in the United States, or it pertains to real estate or property within the United States. Okay. In Florida, they do not have that clause. So, and traditionally across the board, if someone is in New Zealand and they need to sign a document for an estate in Egypt, a Ron notary could not do that because it has nothing to do with the USA. Even if that person in New Zealand is a US citizen and can get KBA and all of that, because they're physically in New Zealand, the document matters. A Florida notary can do that every day, all day long, because they don't have that clause that it has to be pertaining to the USA. So if it were me, I would be advertising overseas to get this notarial access. I know in Europe, it's like $500 to meet with a notary for a 1-page document, and it's a 3-month wait. Australia is even worse. And don't even get into getting an apostille from a foreign country too. So, but all of those different elements make you more valuable. If you're in Montana, the ability to do that e-apostille, you're one of, I think New Jersey joined the list officially. 2 states in the United States can get an electronic apostille from notarization to completion in like 12 hours or less. And no one ever has to drive anywhere. So knowing those little things that you can do that others can't, it's a huge selling point. It really can help you direct your marketing to the right clients.
Amy, one of the things that I keep finding out over and over again is that I have not even scratched the surface of what Ron is available for, because I've been so hyper focused for so long on loan signings at Unlimited Inc. in my own personal life. you guys heard me mention a couple of clients, and Amy just mentioned another avenue. I think it's about thinking outside the box with what we have in our possession. It's like getting this alien technology, right? We're like, oh, well, this is new. And then we like, it's like a Rubik's Cube. We start turning it around and going, ooh, what can we do with this? And then we're finding out that some people are successful and some people are not. I think Amy's presentation earlier where she says, here's a light version. If you need to do something on the fly, you know, this is where you can do it. This is a great platform, introduces you to one more option. I will go back to something I've said for so long. You're going to need to know who has business in your area, what platforms they need, and be able to pivot. So get approved for those platforms. Like in Arizona, I can get approved for as many as I can fit on the line. And then I don't have to buy that platform until I actually need it. With a Cyberize It Lite version, as we talked about earlier, you might as well just go ahead and get on that journey so that if you needed to do something and they don't have any stipulations against it, because with underwriters, they're going to say, I need these 3 platforms, these 4 platforms, these 10 platforms, and you've got to be able to pivot between all the platforms. If you're approved, you know how to use them. You don't have to keep that subscription. Learn how to use it, cancel it. Go in, learn how to use it. If you're not using it, cancel it, come back when you need it. Just make sure you know how long it takes to set up on that platform. Keep good notes as a business owner. Think outside of the box. And I'm going to move it into this one that I didn't mention earlier. Here's something that I never thought of and we have coming for you. So let me see if she's actually here today because she's the one that turned us on. Miss Linda Perez actually introduced me to someone that was reaching out to her through Notary Stars. And Miss Linda, raise your hand if you want to talk about this as well. But she sent me an email saying, hey, you should really talk to this company. They're using the Notary Stars, and they were actually coming to the Notary Stars website and hiring notaries. And if you guys didn't know this, I have to say this before I continue the conversation. On Online Notaries Public and on Notary Stars, it is my personal belief, even though you have no idea how many title companies have come through Notary Stars or Online Notaries Public to hire our notaries. I do not contact them or write them. It is part of my unspoken user agreement because I feel if they reach out to you, even though I know that they may need another notary in New Jersey, we will market to them as Notary Stars, use our notaries again, not unlimited ink signing service. We will not do that. We have never done that. But if a user like Linda did says, hey, you should probably connect with this company because they're doing things. So we recently have partnered and we are partnering. I mean, it's a full-fledged conversation working day and night now where you guys can make money. And this is going to sound, you know, very salesman-like, but it's coming. We partnered with a translation service company that does translations in over 100 languages. And you guys get to sell it on your websites and your marketing saying, hey, if somebody calls me, let me send it back to this company. If you use that link, you get 20% of what they bill that client. If it's one document, it won't be that much. But if it's like a whole lifetime full of documents that they need, it could add up. And then it goes back into the pool of raw notaries at Unlimited Ink Notary, where we will do it. And then it becomes apostille services as well. Because usually when people get documents translated from another country, they're going to need that apostille service. And I didn't even know this was possible. It's a viable, you know, so now we get the notarization, the affiliate link for sending business to them on our websites, and we get a possible apostille out of it. Now, can all raw notaries go do apostilles? No. But we can look at the logistics of being a raw notary and partnering with the right notaries on getting them to the Secretary of State. This is all being unfolded in the background, and this is not even the product that I'm talking about. But this is along the lines of looking at what we can actually do as a community with Ron and products like Cyberize It. that are now giving us on the fly ability to notarize documents. I talked to, I don't know how many calls we get at Unlimited Ink a day. I stopped counting a long time ago. But we get calls all the time. And being able to pivot and do platforms and have a website are a big deal when it comes to notarizing documents. And I'd love to hear Amy's take on this. I see notaries out there that are raw notaries or want to be raw notaries, and then they're not informing their clients. This could be done by a raw.
Sorry, I agree. Oh my goodness. When I first started, when someone called me and say, hey, are you a notary? I was like, yeah, I am. And then they tell me what they need, right? And they say, how much is it? And when can you get here? My response, hold on, sorry. My response wasn't, well, I only do this online. My response was, have you guys ever heard about electronic notarization or online notarization? I never used the word Ron. I love the word virtual. And once they say yes or no, I start explaining to them what it is, etc. So I'm selling them on it before I even tell them up front, if you want me to come to you, you're out of luck, because I did not go to people. I said you were doing it online or you're calling someone else. But I had a business model I could do that. But putting them in an uncomfortable spot where they had to make a decision usually teetered on the positive side. In 7 weeks, I went from 0 clients to being an average of 2,000 a week with 75% conversions of those sales when I would get a lead. And I was getting 25 to 40 leads a day. And I was at the end of those 7 weeks, I was getting 75%. And I've done presentations with charts. I did it for the Level Up Summit. It's one of those things where you've got to put the confidence out. What we said, there's the 3 C's of Ron. You've got to have the charisma, the confidence, and the capability to complete the session. And as long as you've got those 3 things, even if you have a bump in the hurdle of the session, they don't get KBA, you've got to use a credible witness. There's a lot of moving parts. As long as you got those 3 C's, you can get through anything and your client's going to love you. And that's the thing you've got to take to that table the moment you answer that phone or the moment you get the email, however you're responding to them, that's what they're going to walk away with. Because the moment you'd go, well, we could do this online, you've lost that client. They're not going to trust you. You don't sound confident. So not only do you need to respond with education and sell it to the client, you've got to have that confidence in your voice that they can trust you to do the right thing. And finally, my last ditch effort, my prices for in-person were always higher than my online session. So if you want to do it my way, you get a discount. Or if you want to do it my way, we can do it today. You want to do it your way, I'm not scared. I'm booked for 3 days. When you put that hurt on the client to make a decision, they're going to go with a little bit uncomfortable versus being inconvenient or more expensive. Those were my big tips on how to convert that sale.
Amy, you've got a hand raised in the gallery. Miss Cookie Daniels would like to ask you a question.
Hello. So my question is, I saw this on Facebook, and I know we don't take everything to heart when it comes to Facebook, but somebody had wrote a post that they did a POA online, virtual, remote online, and they said that the bank wouldn't take it because it wasn't an original signature. Is that something we should research to see if we were to do something like a POA or something online to make sure their bank would accept a Ron?
The short answer is no. And here's why.
Okay.
But we do have to do something. Number one, we never want to be the one researching it unless we're going to be advertising for clients to come and do that document with you. So let's
Okay.
say you wanted to make an advertising campaign to all of Huntington banks that you can do your POAs online with me and not have to worry about the traveling aspect. If you're advertising for it, yes, you need to find out if it's going to be a problem getting it accepted. If your client comes to you and they say, well, what's this online stuff? Are you able to do it? Can I do my document? Will it be accepted or am I going to have problems? I'm going to look at the client and I'm going to say, we can definitely perform it online as long as it doesn't violate your state laws for online notarization. However, it will be a legally notarized document. However, I cannot tell you if it will be accepted or rejected. You should call that company and ask them for yourself. But when you call, don't ask if they'll take an online notarization. Ask them if they'll accept electronic signatures. And the reason for that is because more people understand the term electronic signatures than online or digital or virtual notarization. So if you want to have a higher success rate, use words that people are going to be comfortable with so they don't have that fear. But the reason you don't want to call is because if I call Huntington and I get a call center person and they tell me, yeah, that's no problem because they know what Ron is and that aspect is. And then they go and they take it there and someone else gets it and they don't understand what we did. They could reject it still. And now it's my fault. I gave bad advice that could harm my client. So I don't want to be the root of all evil. If they call, get approval and they show up and it gets rejected, they're not going to blame me. They're going to blame the call center and that's who they need to yell for, you know, but definitely, you know, see the two differences in that aspect.
I do not know where she went. She's probably having trouble.
She took her hand down. I see her. She nodded.
Okay, okay. Absolutely good points all the way around. It's sometimes, like you said earlier, a lot of moving parts, Amy, and that's one of them. Being able to sidestep that question of will my receiving party accept this is critical because that's a company policy thing, right? The bank may have a policy that says no. There might be state regulations that say no, not for this type of contract or not for this type of advance directive or POA. So yeah, it's always a good idea not to advise them, have them check for themselves just to make sure.
Exactly. And that's going to make your client appreciate the fact that you're not lying or misleading them. You know, online notarization is a legal process. However, the electronic documents can be a little confusing to agencies. Just call and confirm real quick, and then we can get this all taken care of.
Now, Miss Amy, we have about 10 minutes left in the session, so I want to thank you for being here today. I want to move into this last topic, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, thank you guys for the time. I
Yep.
hope you all got information.
Absolutely, and make sure to put it into the chat for everybody as well. And anything you want to put in the chat. I'd love for you to stick around too. I'm going to try to make this about a 10-minute presentation just so that everybody, you know, I want to respect your Friday. The first thing that I want to say, this is not a part of the presentation. Today is the last day that you can nominate somebody, and I've normally done this off camera. Today is the last day you can nominate somebody for social media influencer of the year. I have said off camera many times, if you guys have heard it, I will share this stage with people like Amy, Beth, everyone. Unfortunately, we can nominate one person. I'm going to put it in the chat, the information that you need if you would like to nominate me for Notary Stars, but you won't be nominating just me, and I will make sure that that is clear. I didn't even want to be a face of a company. Unfortunately, a lot of people think I am, but it's not me. It's a lot of people, and it's all the notaries, and it's all the presenters that come here, and I will make sure that's clear if we get nominated. So I'm going to put that information in the chat, and then we're going to move into the next segment here of what we're going to talk about. Now, This has been March, April. This has been 6, 7 months in the making. Okay, and you guys have heard me talk about it, but now I'm gonna really start getting loud. I personally have a vendetta against companies that have a on-demand platform. And the reason for that is because they're taking the business from you. And they're giving it to notaries in other states. Now, the notaries in other states are probably very appreciative, but they're also being paid less than what they are worth. Okay, especially if they train at Notary Stars, Notary Pro, anywhere that has valid training, they're being paid less than what they're worth. So what's happening is they're farming out of one state where it's the notary could charge more and giving it to a notary that they can't charge as much, and the notary's making money. This is huge. This is economics. Okay, it affects the economy. It affects your individual business. And I want to show you. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on, and we're going to take a little small journey. So I just want to make sure you guys can see my screen here. Okay, this is a notarized website for Mesa, Arizona. This is what we call a dynamic web page. What this means is that it is a web page that changes keywords, location, and text on the screen based on where the user is searching for a notary. Lots of you have already seen these in your backyard, and it's not just notarized. I'm using this one as an example. This is Blue Notary, Notarize. Anybody who has an on-demand platform pretty much is using this model. Now watch what happens when I go to this address bar up here. Okay, you see this address bar says https www.notarize.com/cities/Mesa. Let's see what happens when I type in the word Phoenix up here. Magically, this page is exactly the same, except for the keywords on the page, the text on the page, but I'm going to go back and then go forward. Do you see what's happening on the screen here? These pages are coming up in your backyard. Just Google Notarize in your city. They have already done it. They've been there for a long time. I've come up with a solution, and I want to show you what my solution is. Okay. We have the ability to combat people coming in our backyard by building websites. And before you hang up and you say, I can't build websites, so I'm done. Yes, you can. And in fact, I've already built it for you. I have built this exact same website. You'll notice it looks very similar to the way that they built theirs. My students in my class will tell you, we took on all the principles. We just did it a little bit differently. This is one of my students' websites. I built this website for them, and this is now a dynamic website. And I'm going to actually make sure that I'm sharing my sound. You can put your own customization videos on these. Some of my students have these, and some of them don't, but okay, I'm sharing sound. So you can actually put your own video in here. However you choose, their company logo.
Hello, I am Issa Antipara. I am a remote online notary.
I'm not going to make you watch the entire thing. Miss Issa made her own video. You can make your own video. This video does not make or break the website, but I encourage you to make one. She's got her pricing of what she charges when she does the starting fee there. She's got her Calendly link there, and the website's already designed. Some of the questions that came up tonight, should we tell the signer that you have to, check with the company if they receive it? It's got all of that information in there. It's got the ID requirements, can be customized to your state. It's got your common uses, which are really just keywords. It's got all of the state laws linked out onto the website. So each one of these are hyperlinked, just like Notarize does on its website for accepted in all 50 states. And then we also have information about your company and then any training courses that you've taken. Now, I want to point out to you that this might seem like a very small website, but I'm about to show you something that's going to blow your mind. This is not a very small website. This website has, and you can start counting at this moment, every single state has a landing page for the laws of the state. And these can be customized, and that brings business in. We'll just take a look at California if Issa wants to notarize in California. So we have our California state law page. But let's get into the dynamics of the website. What makes the site what dynamic? Now we saw the homepage of the website. Let's go down here to our dynamic pages. And if you're thinking this is blowing my mind, hang on, I got you. So we know that most people are technologically challenged. You can't build a website like this. And even if I taught you step by step, it would take a long time. So I'm going to go into manage pages here. And this part you would need to know how to do. We've got the dynamic pages for all states already built for you. And here's the thing, you can just duplicate them and do them for different services, different products. We're going to go over to Alabama here, and it'll look slightly different once we get into the dynamic website for Alabama. We don't have that same header up at the top because we have a landing page. And again, you can see every zip code that was made in Alabama. Now, I thought this out. I actually did it for my own company beforehand, and I made some mistakes. None of these zip codes have a population unless it's 10,000 or above. So we don't care about, I mean, I care about rural America. I want to protect it, but we don't care about it as Ron notaries because no one's there. 10,000 or less, they probably don't even have internet. They probably don't run cable out that far. So it's true. So we only care about populations of 10,000 and above. And these websites change their keywords and their text on the page dynamically, just like Notarize is doing. And then what we provide you is a spreadsheet like this. You can see that these are already calculated for you by state. And then you can decide which ones that you want to submit to Google Search Console. Full disclosure, okay? And each one of these links out to anywhere out there. You can submit 10 of them a day to Google. Okay, that's the maximum. So the most you can get in a year is like 2,000 web pages. My current website, Unlimited Ink Notary, has just about that. My new students that have either purchased this or did it themselves are about where I was when I started this project. They are making their way through it. Some of my students have already got their links, but that's why I want to go back to the saying, you have to think about future business. Notarize has already put, Blue Notary has already put their links in your backyard. It is time for you guys to take it back. Okay. It is possible. It is doable. If you believe that you can't do this, first of all, you can take my class and learn how to do this. It might take you about 6 months. Or if you want to skip the train, you can buy it today. I have already built the website. We will customize it down to your company colors. It will not look any different than the layout that we just put here up on the screen for you. It will be exactly this with your information. We can do it in 2 different models, okay? The models are, you can get it rush delivery within 14 days. And you can get it within 30 days. And you can do a payment plan. It really depends on how bad you want it. I will put this link on the chat. You can ask me any questions that you want to. I will be able to answer them. But if you want to purchase that, it is in the chat. I understand. $13.59, you're getting a 19% discount is an expensive fee. We have it for $6.99 down and $133 a month. Your website will come down if you miss payments because I don't play around about getting things online. This is the best offer that I can offer anyone, and I don't do sales very often. But I have to tell you, no one else out there, unless you go and take my marketing course, which you can do, will ever be able to do this for you. If you want it ready-made, it's there for you. Okay?
Ronnie, you've got a question in the chat from Tiffany. She says, can you integrate that to their existing website?
If your website is on Wix I could, but no. And let me explain the one caveat. This is a really great question. It depends on your website's link, but no, because of production, we've got this down to wash, rinse, repeat. You would need a domain name. So let's say that your domain name is texasnotarypublic.com. Well, then you're not doing very well in Arkansas. So we will encourage you to get a Ron specific domain name. I actually did this for one of my students, which is Carol. I don't know if she's still here. I saw her in here earlier. She's working her way. Carol Cavina's here. She's working her way through submitting her dynamic links and making her way. And I see her progress because I am on her Google Search Console. She had an interesting domain name, which is My Notary Gal, which could work in Florida, it could work in Alaska, it could work in California. That domain name was not specific, but at this point, we are not going to rebuild a site and go in and do it because we've already built it. We're hitting duplicate and changing it to your business model and then handing it over to you for ownership. So we will not integrate with websites at this moment. It's not really possible at what we built. There's no way to copy and paste it into your website. It's not a code. It's actually a built website. So you are purchasing a very unique website for your business. If you are interested in having your website, if it's built on Wix done this way, it is going to be a little bit more expensive than this for us to come in, take control and do it. It would be better to just buy the model. But if you are interested in that, and you're willing to pay, a few hundred extra bucks, I can put a team on that to do that as well. So thank you for that question. And
Well,
then,
Ronnie, I'm impressed.
I do want people to know that we worked really hard on this and I would not be bringing this to you if it was not possible. My own website has 2,000 something links and it brings in business. I know my students are a little bit further behind me because they started learning after. I lost sleep over this last year. I stayed up for 3 days straight. Beth was worried about me. I was like, I found out a way to do something. I got to compete with this, Notarize company. And now I'm competing with them. I'm competing with them, but it's going to take some time because Google won't index. There are 44,000 zip codes. Don't quote me exactly to the number throughout America. It will take time to reach all of those. And that's why I wanted to say, stop looking for business today, look for business tomorrow. You have to start putting your links into the search engines and it will take time. It will be a part-time job doing that. But if you are disciplined and you want that big website, Google will do some of the work for you. We will keep you updated. And I will make sure anybody who purchases one of these websites will stay updated on any updates. But I will tell you, this is the future. If you're going to be a Ron notary, if you're here tonight because you're dedicated to Ron, you want to make this the future, this is really the only way to compete with sites like Notarize. No one else out there has a competing product or a product or service that will take you there. And I've been teaching it for 6 or 7 months. We've now got it down to an actual product you can purchase. So any questions about that? We were right at that 5 o'clock mark. And if not, somebody asked, is it $1,400 a year? Absolutely not. So on the order form, we had to do it as a subscription, but you'll notice it says Save 19 payment subscriptions will automatically be canceled before renewal 7 days after purchase. The order form says each year. It is not each year. You have me on camera right now. If you want to record it, I'll say it again. It is not $13.59 each year. JotForm won't allow you to stop a subscription. We have to manually stop it. So after purchase, it would be canceled, and it does say it there, and it's also in the terms and conditions that you agree to, which you get a copy of when you purchase. Same thing here. It's $6.99 for the first month, $133.50 for each additional month, and then that would stop after you've reached the full price of $1,500.
Ronnie, I got 2 questions. So after you've paid and you've got this deployed, and let's say my phone or email changed, would the notary have control of changing the contact information on the pages?
Really great question. Absolutely. You get full control. And you can actually do even more with the website if you take my marketing course. You're going to get an entry to every zip code, but there's so much more you can do with the site just by hitting duplicate and changing a few items. So the notary would be able to change their phone number in any time, any place. They have full control over the site as long as they're not afraid to get in and just highlight something and change the words.
Okay, so I could see this also. I like the duplicate because, like, if I do fingerprinting in specific zip codes, I could duplicate and change the words to fingerprinting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, let me show you how easy that is, Amy. And this wasn't planned, but this is very easy. So let's say I move into a state where I'm offering fingerprinting. So we've already got the dynamic pages uploaded for you. Let me get over to this editor. Let's just say that Issa really wanted to focus on Florida dynamic pages for fingerprinting. Oh, or let's do something related to Ron, right? Let's say she wanted to really hyper focus on a product. So I'm gonna go to manage pages here. And we can literally do this in minutes. It might be a little above your head for just a moment, but I know Issa's in Florida. So I'm gonna actually come to her Florida collection here. And we're going to say she's got over 999 items in Florida. We're just gonna say duplicate. We're gonna duplicate the layout of Florida. She's already got one product up here, which is the PS1 158. This might have not been the best one to duplicate, but we'll go from here. So it's duplicating that page there. So she's advertising the PS1 583 in every zip code. And the reason she has this in here is because we did a rollout. Let's say she wanted to do a remote online notarization for minor consent to travel. Right, that's one that we get a lot of in the notary community, or at least I get a lot of calls from. So
Right, and they're always accepted.
right, so we have this minor consent to travel form here. We know we're on this page. So now all we need to do is change a few things on the page in order for it to start coming up dynamically. So I'll go into my manage SEO for these. And we'll make sure that it named it. Sometimes we have to, there we go. I'm gonna just click these three buttons and go to SEO basics, and you guys are gonna think this is above your head, but it's not. So we see that we made a copy of this, and we'll have instructional videos for you, but we'll say minor, and I'll do consent. Sorry, it's freezing up here. There we go. And then I want to get it into travel. To travel. Yep. Sorry, the little lag is giving me a hard time typing. So to travel / document. I promise you guys I know how to type. It's just the lag. Okay, and then we have minor consent to travel document notarization. Now here's where it becomes dynamic. You'll see these brackets say primary city, state, and zip code. So it's automatically going to create 999 plus dynamic landing pages for each city and zip code level. So we've created that. Now we go to our SEO basics.
Hey, Ronnie, before you do that, you've got document spelled wrong, and since you're creating it on a live site, I don't want it to.
Oh, it's not going to be
Okay.
thank you. It's not going to go. I'm not going to publish it. I'm just showing you.
Oh, gotcha.
Because there's a fail-safe between doing it and then actually hitting publish. So we've got that done, and then we go to our SEO settings. Just opening that up there. And then we have our basic social share here. We can give it a unique image, but this is where we come in and let's say that we're doing minor consent to travel. We're just gonna take everything off that they have available here. And you can see this is what would preview on Google. So we're gonna say minor consent to travel. And sorry, guys, it is lagging a little bit. And that should be a lowercase t-o. And so we have a ability to come in, and what we're going to do for this page is we're going to say minor consent to travel, and we're going to say notarize your. And I apologize for the lag there. So notarize your minor consent to travel and say, yes, we can notarize your minor consent to travel in. And it's going to take a minute for that to show up because it's lagging. And then what we're going to do is add variables, and this is where it becomes dynamic in primary.
So Ronnie, to put it in like layman's terms, it's like Word when you did the form fields, like the format letters, and you say to, and then you like first name, last name, and you upload an Excel report and it auto populates the name for form letters.
Exactly right. So you can now see that I have that Google preview, which it says primary city, state, zip code. It says, yes, I can notarize your minor consent to travel in this city, state, zip code. Google serves back to you where you're looking for. Tiffany Gonzalez and Donna Christie and Linda Perez get a different search back when they say notary near me, because those pages are geared toward where you're standing with your phone or on your computer when you're connected to the internet. Google serves you back things that can serve you in your local area first. So these web pages actually work dynamically to change the keywords on the web page. So if I'm looking in Ocala, Florida, or I'm looking in, Long Beach, California, these dynamic pages take care of that for you. Now, I will not tell you that it's an overnight success, okay? If anybody tells you anything's overnight success, it takes about a year. But that's why I said stop marketing today. And you have control over which ones you want to go after first. You can go after your own zip codes or those things, or you can even add more zip codes if you want to.
That's what I was going to ask, because I'm assuming you did all of the USA zip codes.
I did. I went to the US Postal Service, and it has got every zip code in America that has a population of 10,000 or above.
Well, I would want to add like Australia and Japan, and especially if I speak the language of the people that are there, that would be a huge aspect.
Absolutely possible. All you have to do is plug it in. I don't speak other languages, nor do I but you could even put them in for the address of the consulate. So when people are looking for consulates in other countries, it's that easy. You can upload the spreadsheet. Now I'm only offering this to start you out with the zip codes of America, which I would tell you was probably about 25,000 that have a population of 10,000 or above. I don't care about, and it's not that I don't care about rural America. I love it. I don't throw things out the window when I'm driving down the interstate, but there's no one there. So why would we go after those zip codes? You know what I mean? And even if there is someone there, they probably aren't doing Ron. They're just probably living out their days or working on their farm, and they don't care about Ron. You want to go for the zip codes that actually have people hustling and bustling and doing things. You can definitely market these overseas, but the website is geared toward the United States right now. But plugging in another country, as easy as hitting duplicate and putting in your own spreadsheet. And my course will teach you how to do that.
And just because a few people were like, oh my gosh, I need to figure out this more, just know that you would only have to learn it once and you would do the same thing for every type of change that you want to do. So while it might seem a little overwhelming today, being first introduced to it, once you get in there and you get that muscle memory of going through it, and you will get that muscle memory, just like with a Ron platform, it will be easy peasy every day to take. You might take you an hour or two the first day, but you'll probably get it down to like 30 minutes and save, get your name out there. So that's an awesome aspect.
And then Susan Oliveira wrote, she said, do we need to go through each zip code ourselves, or are they automatically populated? Yes. So anything 10,000 or above, population wise, is already automatically included into the website itself. Really, it comes ready made. The only thing that you might want to do is duplicate each state for the different documents that you might want to do. And you will need to customize it on the level of if you're KVA or not KVA. Those are the only real customations, and we will walk you through those once we roll it out for you. I know it's a high price, but it's definitely priced at what it's worth.
And Ronnie, once you've got it deployed and they've paid the one-time fee, either upfront or in payments, is there a charge on Wix for hosting that site?
$25 a month plus tax.
It's not bad.
They're responsible for their domain name. And I would say get a domain name like I found Issa's for her, which is Notarize Online now. And I got another one for Notarize Online Notary right now. And I got one for myself that I'm launching that is going to be my own personal one. After I've done all this for other people, I'm doing another one for me just personally. I have one for Unlimited Ink that's already working. I'm going to do one personally for Ronnie Mickle now that I've done for all these other people. I want to do one. And here's what I ultimately want. And then, I'll take any questions. I want to push those who are creeping up in my backyard off the screen of Google, which I teach in my marketing class. And believe me, I have a claim to fame. I don't know if they're here tonight, but this is my claim to fame. He's not here tonight. Butch Nicholson, and I bring him up a lot. He's 70 years old, a former electrician, no background in real estate whatsoever, has built his own website, and he comes up on the first page of Google with me from taking my course. He goes to the local library so he can focus and get on screen. And he's only been in my course for 6, 7, 8 months. And I have to tell you, I'm so proud of him. He is the perfect example of somebody who wants to do it. You can just take my course and learn how to do this for $69.95 a month. But if you're looking to get ahead of the curve, you can pay ahead. I'm not looking to, I make great money, but I have to charge because I have a team that helps me build these. It's not going to be just me working on that website. It is an entire team, and that's what I charge for. Miss Tiffany, you had raised your hand for a question there.
Hi, my name is Tiffany G. With That Great Notary. I'm based out of Miami, Florida. And my question is, I shouldn't be caught up on the name, right? Because I'm worried, like, I want That Great Notary name to be on whatever website. Let's say that I go through with your services of dynamic pages, which, we've talked before, and it's really complicated for me to do it on my own. So I see the value in paying you and your team to do it. You just end up finding a name. Like I shouldn't worry about the name at all. Like we'll figure out the domain name, or is
So
that
this
my
is
thing
the
to
salesman
worry about?
part. This is the salesman part about me. I can sell ice to Eskimos, okay? And definitely over the internet. But you do want a domain name with the word notary in it. Notarize, notary, that sort of thing. Do you own the domain? Do you have a domain that says That Great Notary? So if you
With
have,
Wix.
yeah, if you have a Wix existing site, you may want to do a model, but I would tell you that you would probably want to just convert it over after we have it built. Because you can do every zip code that you already are in, and then you can have your current. Or you could have that great notary, let me pause this because I don't want anybody to go out and get it. You better get on GoDaddy after I say this, because there's like 100 people on this thing. You may get your domain name / virtually or what have you. See what I did there? I said what I would actually do when I was not recording and then said it while I am. But I would probably head over to GoDaddy and just buy that now. If you have a domain name that's state specific or city specific, it's not that it won't work, it just won't make sense to the customers when they look at it. But like that great notary, that would work. My notary gal was a perfect one to convert to a RON site. Because you could be my notary gal in any state, any location. It depends on what your domain name is. If you could convert it over and just redirect it. And like I said, if you want to convert your own website, it would be a few $100s more, because that's actually rebuilding another website and then adding it what we have. So it's more work. And I don't have that option on the booking form, but somebody said
Thank you.
no, thank you. Somebody says I have ronnotary.net. Oh, sorry, it went up. ronnotary.net and a few others. So I will encourage you guys to domain shop and Ron Block, the next generation of notaries. Save those domain names. This is real estate right now. There's a Ron platform being born every minute. And we're starting to see how it works. Ron platforms are born and some fizzle out. As we just saw, today was the last day. It's so funny that we're doing this on that day. Today is the last day for eNotaryLog. It was their last day. Stars are born and stars fizzle out. And you're gonna run into things. So buy the domain names that you think of for a penny on GoDaddy when you think of them, and then keep them for somebody who wants to buy them. Cookie, you have another question there, and that'll be our last question for today, unless you raise your hand right now.
Okay, Ronnie, so I'm so confused. So are you saying with that price, we get because I have Wix already, we get a whole nother Wix site?
This is a Ron site, so yes, this is a new purchase of a new Wix site. So
Okay,
whatever you have, you can keep it up and running, but this would be specifically for Ron. Unless you paid a few $100s more, than we would build it into your existing website. Wix site.
okay. So it won't affect like a whole nother site. It's not going to affect my SEO that's happening right now on my Wix site, since
No,
there'll be
and-
two.
No, and unless you're one of my students, it'll only enhance it.
Okay, I am one of your students.
Okay, so if you're
but
following the principles, it won't hurt it, but it will only enhance it.
I just didn't understand that because I just joined marketing, so I wasn't sure. Like every time you talked about dynamic pages, I was so lost. But for me, because I'm busy, I would rather pay for it and have you do it and create a whole nother thing. And so I probably will do that the next couple days. So I need to go find another domain name. I already have one for my first Wix site.
You would need to find the domain name that you wanted to use, or I can assist you. I mean, I don't mind if you're
Okay,
to help assist you finding a good domain name, but you
okay,
want to find one that's not state specific.
okay.
For instance, I built Monique Mitchell's website. She's Precise Signings LLC. That would be one that could be converted to a Ron website nationwide. Because it's not state specific, even though hers is very state specific at the moment. It could be built into the existing website. For instance, what is your current domain name?
It's my name,
So,
LA and Daniels.
Land Daniels. So if you have that domain name, we could build that in. It would cost a few $100s more, so I wouldn't use that form. But if you wanted to buy just the separate Ron site, if you wanted to build it into your current one, you would need to do a private email to me, and we could, I can send you a form for that as well.
Okay.
So we would build it into your existing website.
Would it be better, or should I keep it separate? And I'm going to tell you why. I know there's a lot of people on there, but my niece is a web designer.
Mhm.
And when I talked to her about the dynamic pages, it didn't go well. I just gotta say that. I don't understand. So I'm so confused. I think I would want to keep it separate because she kind of runs that web page
Okay,
and just keep the peace in my family and have something different.
there's definitely a difference, and I love that you said that. There's definitely a difference between a web designer
Yes.
and an SEO artist. And
Mhm.
so, for instance, I worked in an advertising company right here in Arizona 10 years ago, and I was their SEO person, but I was not their designer. I'm not a designer. I build websites that work, and here's the thing, they don't have to be pretty to work. You just have to plug in what Google wants from it to make it come up. I built templates, you know, I built this template because Ron notaries need to compete with Notarize. Their website's not that pretty, but they're coming up and they're taking the business. So my goal is to compete with them. And I want every notary in this country to have one of these templates so that we can push them down so far in the rankings that they won't know what hit them. It's recorded, clip it and send it to them. I hope they try to hire me, and I'm gonna say no.
I love it. Okay. Is having a separate one better or don't matter?
I have two websites and both of them work for me. I have
Okay.
Arizona Mobile Notary Services, which is my website, and it works really well for Unlimited Ink. And I have Unlimited Ink Notary, which is a nationwide website, which works really well for the company.
Okay.
Both of, for any Arizona notaries, you benefit from both. For all of you other notaries, you benefit from Unlimited Ink Notary. It just really depends on what method you want to do.
Okay. So maybe I'll reach out to you I have a suggestion for you. I was thinking about it. I was like, I hate to call him with these questions. I think you should have a calendar on for the marketing people. And then we could say, we need to talk to you, but it's not an emergency on March 15th.
No, ma'am. So
If
here's
you're,
the thing. Unfortunately, I will never do that. I do have that available for clients, but here's the thing. If you call me, I'm gonna pick up.
okay.
I understand other people want to schedule time and they want to charge you for it, but you guys pay me a fee if you're a marketing student. So if you call me, I'm gonna pick up. If I'm breathing, I'm here. The only way I'm gonna
Okay.
keep is feet first out the door. So guys, take it easy on me, but I'm not, there's not a person that's in my class that hasn't reached out to me that I won't find time for.
Okay. Awesome. I won't feel bad to call you then. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, don't feel bad. It's part of the program.
Okay.
Guys, we have reached our time for today. I know that there's probably still more questions. Amy has put her information into the chat. For one last time tonight, please turn on those cameras and let's give our signature wave, not to me, not to Beth this time, but to Amy for being in the house with us. I want to see all those cameras light up for those of you that stick around for the in full session. Amy, thank you for being such a light in the Ron Notary community. We would love to see you more over here at Notary Stars. Thank you for
Aw.
everything that you do.
Thank you so much. I totally enjoy these. I will definitely see what I can do to pitch in a little bit more.
You pitch in a lot, but you can you are welcome here any day of the week.
Oh, it's both hands. Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Doing one. Bye-bye.